Hello, Pe'era. Thank you for joining me.
Okay.
Hi. Okay, so Pe'era and I got together because a few weeks ago I sent a newsletter out about ABM. Just talking generally about ABM, how to get it right, what are the pitfalls, etc., etc. And within a few minutes, Pe'era replies to me saying, "No, don't be one of these marketers who just talks about ABM, 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 ABM." So here we are to talk about why we shouldn't be talking about only ABM. Pe'era, talk to me.
Wow, so much to say about ABM or so much not to say about ABM. So essentially, I wrote you the email because I felt like every event in the industry, every newsletter in the industry is just talking about why you should be implementing ABM and ABX. And I'm kind of fed up because I think let's talk about the fact that ABM is not even new news. It's something that existed in the past. Marketers have been doing, targeting their personas is something that we've been doing probably, I don't know, 20, 30, 100 years since
Yeah,
Mad
at
Men.
least.
And I'm
Yeah.
sick and tired of hearing about ABM. And I think that we have to, first of all, understand and gate what ABM is and understand like all the varieties of marketing that we have today. So here we are.
So I agree with you totally. Yes, if you're not segmenting your audience and if you're not targeting a specific group with a specific message, with a specific process, a specific budget, then your chances of succeeding are kind of mediocre. So totally, ABM is, just a fancy word, probably invented by, the tech providers for the intent-based, systems. And we thank them for it on the one hand, but thank you. It's nothing new. And so I agree with you 100%. And whilst we are strong believers in ABM, we are strong believers in everything to do with marketing that works. And marketing that works requires for you to segment your audience and to work through it properly. I'll go one step further and say that ABM campaigns that do not work according to plan, it's usually due to the fact that marketers are rushed into shortening the time for the ABM to work, cutting on the budget, cutting out some of the content, skipping out a lot of the processes that ABM marketing requires, process, people, technology, budget. That's what it takes a long-term play. And we're talking about months because it's usually for enterprise grade campaigns. Then hey presto, you're not going to get a successful campaign if you start cutting out elements from it. And then everybody says, "Oh, ABM's not working." Well, huh?
I think let's go back to basics for 1 second. So, ABM, account based marketing, essentially is about targeting the specific personas within a company or an industry. Sometimes it could be like a named list of specific companies and specific titles. But essentially, when you are selling, like you just said, to, enterprise, and you don't have one decision maker, you probably have a buying committee of
Yep.
probably, it could be up to 20, 25 people who are maybe not necessarily the decision makers, but they are champions, they are evangelists, they are people who understand the pain, they people who can push, the specific solution within the organization. And you are targeting them, but essentially you have to be very, very clear on, first of all, you have to have a product market fit, because otherwise, if you're going and doing these campaigns, it's probably not going to work out. You have to be
Right.
very clear on your messaging, on your value
Mhm.
proposition, on a very specific matrix of each of these personas within this buying committee, what their need is, what their pain is, what the solution is, what their
Correct.
motivation is to be even engaged in such a conversation with you and with your company. Having all this in place and then going about to find those people, and ABM as again is just a framework, and you
And
have
there are
to
two words also missing from this. It's called brand awareness. If
100%.
nobody knows about your brand, guess what? The chances of your ABM campaign, as beautiful as it might be, is not going to work. Think about it. When was the last time that you actually came across, the glorious ebook or a fabulous email from a company that you have no idea and said, I really want to look into this? No, the brand awareness has to go together with the ABM in order to have any chance of succeeding. And this is something that, again, no cutting corners here. Unfortunately, we'd love to, right? But we can't.
A lot of startups, like the Steve Jobs approach, build it and they will come. Yeah, that's true, but I mean, you have to have a brand. It has to
Yep.
be spectacular technology, definitely. to solve a solution in a very creative and innovative way. Of course, not even a must sometimes, but definitely have to have a strong brand. The brand building has to occur in parallel to other things that you're doing in terms of demand gen, in terms of lead gen. Going back to what marketing actually is.
Exactly.
Building a strong brand that echoes, that shines. If you're a small startup selling to a large enterprise, even more so, you have to invest a lot of time and effort in building that, market share, and really being out there, being in conferences, doing a lot of work on social media, being present. ABM campaigns, as stellar as they might be,
Yep.
and the high tech, high intent tools could be as amazing as they are. So the intent might be there, and the need might be there. But if you're not delivering your brand in a strong way and it doesn't carry the voice, it's not going to happen. They're not going to buy from you.
Exactly. ABM takes time. So if in parallel you're not running additional campaigns and you haven't got additional tracks to bring in the leads, then management are going to get very, very frustrated with ABM. And that's when sort of like the shit hits the fan. In order to leave your ABM in peace to work, marketers need to plan for their top of the funnel, middle of the funnel leads elsewhere.
Then it becomes your personal failure, where I think really framing ABM in the frame that it should be set in the first place, as a framework, as a methodology, as something that supports your sales and marketing initiatives, and not creates it from scratch. I think that's where it's going to succeed.
Just do it like modularly, don't have to jump into the whole 9 yards straight away. Go in, slow approach, smaller approach, and seeing where your holes are, where your gaps are within the organization. That's sort of like, that's a winner.
Yeah, everyone has to be invested in it. It can't be like it's a go to market motion. It's not. You can't do this single
Exactly.
handedly. It can't be a marketing initiative. It can't be a sales
Yep.
initiative. It can't be an SDR initiative. It has to be everyone kind of like shaking hands along the funnel. I think my best tip for marketers is don't follow the hype. I know it's really in this day and age where it feels that you have to invent everything from scratch, and every quarter or so there's a new something, a new acronym, whatever. Don't go after the
Yep.
hype. There is tried and true. Yes, you got to be creative, but understand you know what you're doing. Trust your feelings, trust the data we trust, and go with that.
Yep. And I would say ABM, yes. Is it the be all and end all? Absolutely not.